Hey everyone, my name is Godlow. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. It's a good video to pick. This is Haldir. We're going to be doing a video guide on him today, sort of a commander guide. We're going to be talking basic sort of info, gear advice. We're going to go through sort of skill builds, what units to use, and then sort of an example battle report at the end. There's not going to be much chin wagging. You know I love to chit chat during videos. This is not going to be that. We're going to be straight into detail very quickly because I'm trying to make the video less than 15 minutes, and it's really hard to do that with commander guides. So we're going to get straight into it, and first of all talk about some basic info. Right, about Haldir then. Haldir is an elf. He is an absolute glass cannon, to be honest. But he's not like your Legolas and Gimli. He doesn't use his own damage. He uses troop damage. And in particular, he's a range specialist. So he does ranged units, big damage boosts. And that's how he puts his damage out. Best kind of faction he's best with is LOTR. However, he's great with the likes of Linden and Arnor as well. And he also can be used with just tier 3 ranged units. He can still do some massive damage. As long as you're sort of avoiding that madness. He doesn't have any skills that avoids madness. But in general, as long as you can avoid that, he will be hitting very hard with his ranged units. Talking about gear then, as you know already, as you know if you've watched my channel before, you'll have seen that usually I do my video in one go. However, with these videos for commander guides, I try to break them up and do separate videos because I need to be to the point, give you the detail, and this is what you're going to get in this one. Gear is what we're talking about now. What are we after? We're after might and speed. Might equals damage boost and speed equals damage boost. With Haldir, he has a skill called Galadrim, and that does boost your damage with speed, okay, as well. So might and speed are his key attributes that you're going to be buffing with weapons and armor and stuff like that. He's very balanced in terms of the points he gets. He gets the likes of might as a high, speed as second, focus as well. But focus is still +1, so has got a half decent damage reduction compared to some other commanders that have can be sub 150. So he is a nice balanced character. Jumping into the weapons then, we're going to start with weapons, and I'm going to focus on just a few items. On all my guides, just a few items of what I believe are the sort of best in slot. Weapons, top pick for me. The only one I sort of go with is Mirkwood Bow. I don't believe you would pick anything else. You get might, you get speed, and you get army attack ranged. And you can see here, you want the ranged might effect, which boosts his damage by 9%. If you're running Heralds as your front line melee unit to tank some of the hits, but I'll talk about sort of army composition later. But if you are running Heralds, usually you would take, instead of this, you'd do the Elves Might or Elves Strength it is. Elven Strength or something like that. But to be honest, chances are you're going to be using Cataphracts or something like that instead. And Ranged Might is going to be your first choice on this. Mirkwood Bow is what I would recommend. Really easy item to get. And I wouldn't deviate away from that personally unless you're an absolute mega whale. And then I'm sure you know what you're talking about anyway. Second is the armor. Personally for me, his rank respect 10 item is the best respect item, pretty much close to in the game really. I'd say it's top like probably 2 or 3. This item, ignore the bit about battling on wood on the effect. Simple of it is elf units, his army with elf command and himself gains initiative on every single tile and every single turn. He gets might, he gets focus, he gets speed, and he gets army HP on those elves. It is an amazing item for a tier 1 commander, and once you're in season 2 onwards, you can unlock this from respect 10. I do recommend you do get into respect 10 plus, because like I said, this is great. I haven't buffed it at all, I haven't strengthened it, and it's a great item. If you haven't got this, you want to be focused on might and speed, is what I said before. So your other options, the likes of Scout's Mail, and I would use the effect Shroud. So evade, great ability. Might and speed equals damage and damage in Haldir world. The other option is quilted armor. You do get high speed, high might, you get high speed, and you can possibly do a focus protection build. But to be honest, the best one is his R10, and I would go for the Scout's Mail instead. But like I said, quilted armor is probably the third best you can pick on there. Bro. Helmet, 3 choices here to be fair also. I like the likes of the Trapper's Hood. Why is that? It's a high speed, speed equals damage. You get attack damage as well, and obviously the effect of Hysteria is brilliant, getting madness on the enemy. Really nice, really nice helmet here, and I would definitely, one of my top choices is Trapper's Hood. Other one I've got in here is the Hunter's Guide. Now I believe this is probably the best one in the game. This here gives might, it gives focus, it gives attack ranged, but the biggest thing that you can't see on this here, if I go to my pack for you, is an ability called Discord. Yes, I know, Discord, the voice thing, not that, it's this here. You have a 100% chance to inflict madness on all enemies, commander and units, for the first 2 rounds. It is insane. It's an absolute broken item, and it gives you attack as well for your ranged units and might. It's a great, but that is literally only for Mega Whales. Want to go for that. Your third choice, and people might disagree with me on this, and by the way, if you have any feedback, drop it in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of Haldir, what you would do differently, etc. than what I'm saying. The third choice, and is actually a decent item, is the Horseman's Helm. Might, speed, damage. You get defensive bounty, so great if you're using bow knights. But the biggest thing I love about this is the anti-madness. Now, the thing with Haldir, he damages huge in the first 2 rounds. You need to avoid madness or you literally implode your own units. I can promise you, you explode if you don't have any kind of madness immunity. Horseman's Helm does might and speed and gives you that madness immunity. So it's a great item, and that's my sort of 3 top choices. Accessories, always a bit of a weird one in this accessories world, and you can sort of argue it with a few things. Options are Fiddle of the Eldest. You get some speed, you get army defense, you get army speed, and the likes of Second Wind can clear sort of like some kind of debuffs that come through, so it is decent. But I believe the Second Wind, yeah, there was a Lothlorien Belt is the other one. So focus speed, so speed equals damage, and then you've got army speed for range plus 10. Here though, rear reinforcement is you get heals every turn for your ranged units, which is absolutely brilliant. But you also have another ability on here, which is Might of Elves. If you're running Haldir with full elves, Might of Elves is absolutely brilliant. You can get another sort of like 4, 6, 8% damage, depending on how big of a whale you are, for your elven unit. So really good. And again, that speed equals damage, so it is good for that. The 2 purples that you can use is Harp of Lothlorien. This does have an elf strength also. Doesn't have any big sort of damage boosts on here like the gold item did, but does have a bonus damage and it's easier to level up. That plus 9% that would offer at max is actually really strong and would give you a really big boost to your damage. So definitely a solid choice. The last one though, and the one I use usually, is Hithlane. Army HP, might, focus, and then you can use a mend on that as well to get a little bit of healing through. To be honest though, Hithlane or Harp, both of them great, but like I said, it's the elf strength is what's strong, and obviously depends what faction you are. Lothlorien obviously would be great with the Harp. If I'm in Arno, which I am in season 5, then this won't do much for me because I'll be running Ranger of the Norths if I was using Haldir, so I'll probably use Hithlane instead. That gives you good insight. There's loads more detail to go in. Summary of that though: might and speed, increased attack stats are great, which are obviously Trapper's Hood. I don't think I've mentioned that before, but plus attack is absolutely great. There's 2 or 3 items in each category there that hopefully can help you build your Haldir. Next, we're on to the skill builds. Let's go through that. On to skills then. Let's talk about the base build for Haldir. Let's keep it simple. You max guide, which is first 2 rounds, all allied units physical damage plus 45%, and you get stun immunity, so people can't ruin that in the first couple rounds, the likes of Gandalf. And then you max Galadrim. These two are your big damage boosting skills and are required for any build of Haldir. You will not go away from that. The other thing that you need in there as well is 1 point in the March Warden of Lorien. Not a big damaging ability, however, every time it activates, it allows you to get an evade on the next damage you receive. So if you're running mass March Wardens, 4 rounds, they're going, well, 4 attacks, they will be completely evading, which is absolutely brilliant. So that's the base build. After that, what do people usually do? They usually max the likes of Sylvian Elf, which is increasing the normal attack damage and add poison to it, and that poison extends 2 rounds once you max that out. And then after that, you want to be going shield training, which reduces the range damage, range units damage you receive. You're going to be running lots of ranged units with Haldir, so really, really big damage reduction, 14% is huge, so a great thing to take. After that is quite situational. It can be difficult. If you're going Lothlorien, you can use the likes of Forest Agility. If you're Linden with the Noldor Longshots, make sure you don't take this ability. It's a waste of points because they don't have a follow-up. They can't follow up. They don't have normal attacks. So be aware of that. But Forest Agility is usually something you take as long as you're not Linden. And then you're going to go into the likes of Beast Training. If you're Lothlorien, have your frontline be Eagles, and I'll go on RP compositions shortly. If you are running Eagle as your frontline unit, then Beast Training is great to keep them alive. It actually works out to be 100% HP per round on this, so it's a really, really good healing ability. And then the other one you could choose is Fortify. Now, Fortify is a great ability. I think it's 18%, is it maxed at? It is 18%. This is 18% damage reduction on top of the 14, so that would be a 32 damage reduction when you're defending, okay? If you want to combine that with the likes of this sitting on battling on wood, you get your defense plus 5, initiatives all round, but your defense plus 5 on wood tiles. You can use him as an absolute tank to sit on tiles and help to reinforce the move that you're making. Send your units in to keep pushing. Haldir's can sit there and have a sort of back line if the opposition pushes, and he's absolutely crazy in a defensive position with the likes of Fortify. You can push points into Armed Escort, and you can touch Foresight if Gandalfs are annoying you with their avoidance. I'm not going to spend too much on skills though on here. I've talked about all the main details. The build doesn't really go from good to evil to whatever. You're running very, very similar builds across the board. It depends what the frontline unit is, and how you're using Haldir is how you would maybe adjust that. But like I said, Guide, Galadrim, Sylvian Elf is your main stuff, and then you go into the likes of these. Remember the 1 point in March Warden of Lorien. Let's go on to army composition, because that's really important, and again it's very simple, so hang fire. Haldir is definitely an easy command to get the hang of. Let me talk you through his army composition that he likes to run. You usually have some kind of front unit, a defensive unit, maybe the likes of something like a Cataphract, who has high sort of damage reduction for melee, and also damage reduction from being mounted anyway. Obviously combining that with your defensive one that we just talked about in the skills could be great. Really, really good unit though, Cataphracts are. And then after that, really simple, you want to be throwing in the likes of Sentinels, the likes of Sharpshooters, as many as you possibly can. You can run Bow Knights instead. You can run, if you're on mixed, you can use Morgul Aura Blasts. Master Throws are alright. I don't use them much at all, but they are alright. But anything ranged kicks ass, to be honest. The only thing you're going to be swapping out inside this is you'll be running Eagles in front line instead of the Cataphracts if you have access to them. Eagles are insane, like literally insane, and I recommend them massively. They are amazing versus cavalry because they have a 60% damage reduction versus melee. So if you're Lothlorien fighting Rohan, Eagles will be your best friend. Running them with Haldir is huge. You'll get Lothlorien March Wardens, you'll get the Sentinels, and a front line of Eagles. You got huge damage reduction, and you're going first in every round because of his rank 10 item. That's even against the likes of Theoden with huge speed. I've seen Haldir beat Theoden because of the Eagles, because of his rank 10 item. It is really key and really huge. Haldir is awesome and really simple. You can't really mess this up. A front line like Cataphracts, which we talked about before, I'll grab them again so you can't miss this. And then throw in a load of rangers behind that. If you likes of Arnor, what's great is you can just put Rangers of the North in the middle of this, and they tank instead, just like a Cataphract would. And you got 3 rangers that you can buff all the damage on. There's not much else I can say on army composition. It is what it is. Very simple. Tank unit plus ranged. There you go. Let's go on to a battle report. Of everything I've just said, let's summarise in the last sort of 30 seconds of what the result of all this is. On to the battle report then. I'm going to hide the player's name in the enemy kind of thing. And this is a battle report from Prince. Good friend, played with him a few seasons. He loves to run Haldir, and he loves to run it with max army composition of March Wardens. Literally 3,650. So there's 73 command here. I think there might be I think it's 73 command. Eagles are 4, so it might be 72 command. And then Bow Knights 50 just to tank 1 hit, and Eagles are there to tank 1 hit also. But you'll see here, this is the result you can get from a good Haldir build, and a possibly little bit of luck from the follow-up on this, can deal massive damage. If you remove some March Wardens and put some more Eagles in, that would be no harm at all. The outcome of this would be very similar. It would do major damage, and even if this was lucky and the Witch King was unlucky on this, you're still going to be getting some huge hits on here and taking out a lot of that army. And that's the point of Haldir. You can send him in first. He is going to do damage. He's going to hit hard, especially if you've got the R10 item. He's going to go first. He's going to hit hard as long as you can avoid the madness in the first couple of rounds. And that's it. Nice and easy commander to build and use. If you liked the video today, hit the like and subscribe button. And if you want me to create more commander guides, let me know. I'd love to do so. And I think I'm actually going to start creating another one, maybe Dwalin or Theoden, before the start of season 5. So I shall see you all soon. Hopefully cut it under 15 minutes. It's going to be close. Fingers crossed. I'll end it now, so try and get under there. Later, guys. See you in a minute.